and welcome. I'm Leanne Evans here with Mike Ratcliffe from the Hidden Valley Ski Resort. Over the past few weeks, he's been teaching us how to become a better skier. Now let's go over a couple of the basics that we have learned so far.
Yeah, well, we started off with one of the most fundamental things about how we stand on our skis so that we're in the middle of our feet and we're nicely balanced. And then what we looked at is, from that position, how do we get the skis to go in a different direction? And that is by turning the legs so that the skis and the toes point where we want to go. From there, we established that we need to balance on the downhill ski or the outside ski throughout the turn. And then we did a couple of little exercises to let that happen. And from there, we then thought about trying to make the skis parallel at the end of the turn. The next step is to try and keep them parallel from start to finish so that we're just the coolest dudes out there.
All right, so how is making our skis go parallel down the hill make us a better skier? What is this going to help us with?
It actually means that our skill level has got to the point where we can turn the skis on command, and that means we can either change the shape of the turn or the speed of the turn depending on whether or not the hill changes, and ultimately that's the ultimate goal. So at the end of the last session, what we basically had was we were in this position with a little bit of a wedge, and then we had to turn this ski so that they were parallel. To keep them parallel all the way through the turn, I now have to, when I'm turning my uphill ski, turn the bottom ski at exactly the same time so they stay together. And this also means I have to change the timing of it a little bit so that it's not just turn it and then stand on it. I have to stand on it and turn it at exactly the same time, the uphill ski.
All right, so when we're going down the hill, what is ideal to do with our poles? Do we just keep them by our side? And
at the moment, the poles help us to move around, and if you keep your hands in front, it's like being on a balance beam. You can use the poles to help you balance. Later on, we use the poles as a sort of third point of contact so that it adds extra stability whenever we're turning.
All right, is there any tricks to know if we're doing this right?
Your skis will stay together.
All right, let's give it a shot and head down the hill.
Okay. Here we go. And then all the way around the other way, nice and quickly. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. So we're trying to keep the skis parallel all the way through the turn. Here's an exercise that I sometimes use, and I still practice even now, just to make sure that I'm standing on the correct foot and trying to keep them nice and parallel. Okay? And what we're going to do is, as we start the turn, I'm just going to tap the back of my inside ski as I go through the turn. And then I'm going to swap over and I'll tap the other foot.
So the tips that we have learned over the past couple of weeks aren't just for beginner skiers like myself. I mean, these can be used for more advanced skiers as well, right?
Absolutely, that's perfectly true. You know, and the difference between a World Cup skier and a beginner is that they use the same skills, they just do them at a lot higher level. And, you know, everything that you've learned applies to expert level skiers as well.
So here at Hidden Valley Ski Resort, can people use those advanced skills?
Absolutely. Although our terrain might not be as steep as some of the mountain resorts, somebody's ability to get down them might be good, but what we try and focus on is making them have expert level skills.
So there's no limits to the ski hill here?
Absolutely not.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us, and we appreciate all the tips that you have shown us, and we hope to see you out at the hill. For more information about Hidden Valley Ski Resort, you can visit their website at www.skihiddenvalley.net.